Are you thinking, no, we can do this? Yeah, that's right, well, well.
Oh my God.
Good.
All right. Let's open it in here. We have a quorum present. Is there any, uh, additions or deletions to the agenda, as you know?
I have him.
All right, then, do I have a motion to approve and consent with the agenda?
I'll make the motion.
All in favor? No public comments? What about let's get an approval for the minutes for the regular board meeting
I'll make that motion.
and the motion for the, executive session.
I'll make that motion also.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Matt, how about your financial report?
Yep, as of December 31st, 2024, in the assets checking accounts, general fund, $997,428.80. Capital reserve, $521,638. In the building and land fund, $98,674.87. Total assets of $1,617,742.37. Current liabilities of $74.72. Deferred revenue, $825,399.65 for a total of $825,474.37. Income for this period, $195,158.14, with expenses of $396,406.77.
All right. Any questions about that, Matt? No? All right, then, I make a motion to approve as read. All in favor? All right. Approval of the ordinance, which is 2501, to pay the bills outlined in the check registry. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any, communications?
Nope.
Staff reports? Fire marshal report.
Yeah, a couple things under the fire marshal's report. For the month of December, there were no permits issued, but there was one permit fee received in the amount of $6,614. I'm trying to get what everybody else has had.
Sure.
That was for the fine arts renovation over at Junction College.
Okay.
So for the year-end fire marshal's report for all of 2024, there were a total of 12 building permits issued. Total building permit fees charged were $25,964. Total fees collected were $24,498. That's for building permits. Firework permits, there were 3 issued. Total amount charged was $7,300. Collected $7,300. Total for firework permits $7,300. Outstanding permit fee, there is one outstanding still for $1,475 from last year. I just found that today, so we'll get with the individual that knows that and get that addressed. Total fire marshal's office for 2024 is $31,789, and by far one of our best years in a very long time. A lot of those were really big projects, though. So
Right.
things have just really slowed down now. So we'll kind of see what happens with that.
How about the fire loss and casualty?
Yeah. So total pre-incident value of everything that involved a building that caught on fire was $1,468,710. Total fire loss out of that was $1,230,670. Total amount saved $238,040. It was a pretty low year for fires and fire loss, which was a good thing for sure. There were no injuries on the fire ground from anybody in the fire service or civilian injuries or deaths. So, yeah, it was a relatively mild year fire wise in 2024, which is good.
Yes. Fire chief's report.
Sure. Available for
December 2024 finished with 108 calls for service. We have responded to a couple of fires over the past week. Unfortunately, during the snow storm, we were stuck Monday morning down off of Soda Roll Call Y Highway. I got trapped in there by two fire trucks that were stuck, so I was stuck down there for like 7 hours. I was blast. We had a pool house slash greenhouse slash some sort of a external outbuilding type deal catch fire. The 5900 block of State Road B in the middle of the winter storm as well too. Crews did a great job making a knock on that fire. I think one of the biggest problems with that was we had a couple of 100-pound propane tanks that were on fire and the valves were damaged, so we had to wait for them to quit off gassing and go out, which they did pretty quick, so that's a good thing. Attached to this report also is a 2024 alarm summary. For the year 2024, we ran 1,448 calls for service, which is one more than last year. That's a record breaker, correct, Jason?
Sure.
So we're not slowing down at all, and we've been pretty busy the past week already, so. All right, multiple grants we're working on, obviously, as stated at the last board meeting, we received the Jefferson Foundation grant for workout equipment. Still got to figure out what we're going to do with the Casey's building, if we're going to get the grant for the EOC and the addition, and how that's going to go. So I am definitely kind of skip ahead to that while we're talking about that. I'm not holding my breath for that EOC grant anymore. The federal government has until March now to finalize the current 2025 fiscal year budget. So we should know something definitive by March.
Okay.
So I guess all of our money's gonna probably be going to buy Greenland now. So.
Yeah.
AFG again, we've applied, we're still waiting. Talk about that. Firehouse subscreen equipment has been ordered, supposed to be in the end of this month per Jason. 100%
The
sure.
last I've heard, it changes.
We are continuing the process with Lexapool on our policy rewrite. We should have a meeting hopefully Friday, so. Okay, so Friday, we're continuing that process. Hopefully that'll be done. I don't really have an update on the stoplight issue. But we are going to look into the MoDOT safety grant like we talked about and see if anything can come from that. I was supposed to attend a webinar meeting for that, but it was canceled due to the winter storm. So the new station alerting system went live at Jeffco 911 on the 18th. A few minor glitches here and there, but overall it's really worked out fairly well. For the most part, it's working, it's going off, and I would hear the computer voice in the sky every time we get a call. They're still working on some things at Jeffco on tweaking it. We're going to start repeating the dispatch and saying it twice, which I'm up in the air on that. Most everybody just hears tones go off, grabs their phone and looks at where we're going anyhow. But some people want to hear that, so it is what it is. And then some other tone length is a problem. A first alarm is getting cut off. It's a Motorola issue on the radio side of things. There's a timeout issue. So they're working on increasing that from 60 seconds to 150 seconds or something like that to rectify that on a first alarm type of a situation. But the way they're doing it is the G2 system gets set off. Then they're setting the regular tones off on VHF.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty impressive. The other day I was listening. There's a couple of calls stacked up.
Right.
On the VHF side of things, they were dispatching a call still, and our G2 system goes off for our call that we had after that one, and it was done being dispatched before they were done with that previous call on VHF. So it is considerably quicker in getting calls out. There's no doubt about that. So
Okay.
We'll try to see if we can track some metrics to see how that's working, but we'll have to dig and see where we can find those times. So we'll see. So. As of 1/4, production report for the new ladder truck, we're still on track for December of 2025. Building planning project is continuing. I'm hoping to get with the building committee and we'll get a meeting set up with Steve Bacon here at some point this month and kind of get things going forward. But I'm waiting to hear from this grant, DOC, because if we don't get that, which we probably won't, we need to start having some engineering done on that building. But the building committee Dave already has a plan as to how we're kind of gonna get that rolling. So border construction is supposed to start back in the fall.
Right.
And so I haven't talked to Josh. I need to call him and see where he's at on that. The new enclosed trailer is in. Lieutenant Stark actually finished the build out on it yesterday. Did a great job. Looks great. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks.
There's a lot more room in it compared to the other trailer. Sure. The audit was completed on the 3rd, which was last Friday. I do have the draft reports ready for your approval in the board packet. Again, they didn't find anything.
Yeah.
So normal stuff, everything went good. Our net position greatly increased. So we're going to begin working on the year-end report for 2024 here soon. Hopefully we'll get that done by the February board meeting. I sent everything over to SMCI to Mike. What's his name over at SMCI? I haven't heard back from him, so I need to get with him. I don't know if he was off during the holidays and playing catch up now, but we'll get with him. So training is continuing. Hopefully, as I put in the report, maybe take some advantage of the cold weather and get out there on the ponds, get some ice rescue training coming up. So we'll see. Things went well for the Christmas party and pictures with Santa event and all that good stuff. So we're good. That's all I got.
Oh, okay, cool. So you think that definitely the dispatching stuff is working?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's working.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely working. It's different.
It is. It's a little different. And that was my only thing is that if I am listening to it, it's like, where's the second? That was the first thing. But really, like you said, if you don't know where you're going, you're getting the information. But yeah. Well, no shop steward report.
I did talk to Mitch, and he doesn't have anything, but he said thank you for everything working out with the collective bargaining.
Well, thank you for doing that too, and all the hard work and staff put into that.
Yeah, so everybody did.
Everybody. What about old business?
Final amended budget is number 1 on the item there. That needs to be approved so we can send that back to the auditors. They did a bunch of adjustments and changes. I'm not going to pretend to know exactly what they did, but it is in there. And at the end of the day, the bottom line, we are able to transfer $92,461.07 from the general fund to the capital fund and $70,000 to the building and land fund. It's a little bit less than originally anticipated, but we did spend a ton of money on stuff last year. So it's still good. It still fits within the future financial plan, and everything is good to go with all of that. So that is the final amended budget.
All right. The election. Bob, no one ran against you?
Oh, I skipped that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yes. No one ran against Bob, so Bob is the candidate.
Is it a 5 or 6 year term?
6-year term.
Okay.
You guys are all 6-year terms.
Okay.
6 years every 2 years.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and with him being the only candidate, we won't have to have an election. So,
All right.
which will save $6 grand, which is good.
And the final amended budget packet,
Yes.
we talked about, talked about that, so you need a motion to
Yes.
approve the budget. Second, all in favor? Aye. Approval of the 2024 draft audit report.
Yes, you will find a copy of not only the draft audit report, but the management report, where they look at all facets of how the office is run, how management's done, how all that works out. As always, with every year, the only thing that they were able to come up with is the segregation of duties. And due to the fact that our organization is so small,
Right.
we're unable to meet that segregation of duties. And that just goes back to she gets the mail, she hands it to me, I have to open the mail. And every package that comes through the door, she collects or Jason collects. I open, the stuff that is not possible due to the size of our staff. And many of the larger fire districts can't even meet this because we don't have huge office staffs to
Right.
do
You don't
what
even know. You don't have to look.
do what the government wants us to do. So, but other than that, Greg said everything looks great. There was one missing receipt from last year, and that is it. We got to attempt to find it from the individual. We know exactly who ordered it. We have to see if he has a copy of it. We can send it to Greg. Then they'll have no missing credit card receipts. And then we paid some sales tax. Probably didn't equal more than $100, but sometimes it's an emergency and you just got to do things, and sometimes you pay sales tax. And a lot of these businesses do not make it easy if you're non-taxable. And I'll give you the perfect example, Dollar General. If you want to be no tax on them or with them, you have to sign up through corporate. You have to get a card through corporate. You have to renew it every year. I'm not doing it. It's too much. We can't keep up with that.
Right.
So we just don't do business usually with Dollar General. So.
All right. So, with that 2024 draft, make an approval to approve. Second, all in favor? Aye.
777
Yeah, that's my screen.
If you remember the 1924.
But you have the refund.
So with the station alerting system, if you remember, we purchased the products from US Digital, just a division of Honeywell. And then Feather Shark did the install. Feather Shark billed us for the install. We paid Feather Shark for the install. But US Digital also billed us for the install. And we paid for the install twice, basically, or a portion of the install. So we caught that error back in October, $19,256. Here we are, January 7th, and we have no refund from US Digital. I have been back and forth, sending dirty emails. I think the one I sent last week stated, it's been 71 days since this was pointed out to you. Where is our refund? I got an email Monday from them again that said, hey, we've got final approval on the refund. It's supposed to process on the 7th, which is obviously different. And as of the close of business today, we don't have it yet. So I'd like to give it to about the 20th. And if we don't see anything, it's time for a letter from the lawyer.
I agree.
It's too long and it's too much money.
Right.
And what US Digital wanted to do was leave it on our account for a credit. And I said, absolutely not. I said, that is our money. I go, granted, it was our error that we overpaid it, but that is our money. We want it back so we can draw the interest on it, not you. I go, we're not a loan company. It's kind of where we're at with it. I'm not thrilled. US Digital is an absolutely horrible company. However, It's all we got to deal with the alerting system. So I'm in no means gonna entertaining and looking at doing station 2 yet until this refund is in our pockets and ready to rock and roll. Then we'll consider looking at doing station 2 this year at some point in time. So that's kind of what
Looking at the damaged trailer, what do you have in mind for it?
would, you guys have an issue if we just kept it? Kept it on the insurance liability, obviously we can't have any full coverage on it because of the fact it's been totaled. But it can be used to, they measure it, it can be used to haul, store the lawnmower back and forth between house 1 and house 2.
It shouldn't really need insurance either. Since it's just gonna be moved. And the truck that holds it's got the land open. You try to take it off your insurance.
Okay, we check with Grant, see what. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't think the would have the coverage.
No, I know that.
Their coverages are different than the offer liability for the trimmers, which you don't see that happening, but.
The only thing, would that cover the contents that are inside the trailer? Like the lawnmower?
Don't know how they would. Probably through their business policy. you have to-
Probably our supplemental inland marine policy cover.
Would you just leave the lawnmower in the trailer then?
Huh. Free up some space. Probably make the 2 house guys happy. Tough crowd out there.
So, I mean, I know, I keep it.
No.
What's that?
Something sounding more, way more.
Oh, the lawnmower? Yeah.
And now you have the joint salt spreader, you said that one was, a pound of
Oh
oil.
my gosh. I followed that thing for like 24 hours straight on Sunday. The problem is it's plastic, it's gravity fed, there's no auger in there to mix it up. It was just a paperweight on the back of that truck. Dave Brown had some of the same issues with it as well too, so he reached out to somebody, his guy or whatever. Maybe the guy we got the smoke off from initially. He's got one for right around the $3,000, maybe a little less mark. It's got necessary hookups. It's got the auger in there and controllers and all that stuff. It would be split between Hillsborough, Goldman, and McAville, no more than $1,000.
Yeah, you got something that you can't use.
Right now.
Right, and it's a pain in the butt, I say do it. Anything else that you have?
No, regarding the closed session that we had last month.
Yes.
Don't have an update
Okay.
because of the holidays and all that stuff, so that's why I did not include that on the agenda. However, I did get an email from those attorneys today. And we're gonna work on a conference call with us, the city, and those attorneys. There's progress being made, it's just getting caught up after the holidays.
Do you have any questions or concerns? Either, so, make a motion to, adjourn the meeting. Meeting adjourned at 7:31. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay.
I wanted to look up.
Sorry, Kyle.
No.